Hey everyone, and welcome to our latest explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly monumental evolution in technology. We're talking about a massive structural shift happening right now, literally as we speak, from the traditional chatbots we've all gotten used to something called Agentic AI. Now, if you follow the tech space, you already know things are moving at lightning speed. But what we're witnessing right now, it isn't just a software upgrade. It's a fundamental shift from using passive tools to working with fully autonomous collaborators. But before we look too far into the future, let's ground this for a second. Ask yourself, when was the last time an AI tool actually did your entire job for you, like from start to finish? If you're like most people, the answer is probably never. Right now, most of the AI we interact with on a daily basis feels kind of like a glorified intern. Think about it. You give it a prompt, you wait a few seconds, it spits out a somewhat half-baked answer, and then you have to spend the next 20 minutes fixing all the subtle little nuances it completely missed. I mean, it's helpful, sure, but it's not truly doing the heavy lifting for you. And that brings us to Section 1, the AI intern problem. This is a major turning point for the industry. Behind the scenes, the smartest minds in tech have realized something absolutely critical. Simply building bigger models, adding billions of parameters, and just throwing more compute power at that exact same chatbot interface, it isn't solving real, complex workflow problems. Instead, we're moving away from traditional AI and heading straight toward agentic AI. Think of traditional AI like a calculator. It is incredibly smart, impossibly fast, but you still have to press the buttons. You give it one input, it gives you one output, and then it just sits there waiting for you to tell it what to do next. An AI agent, on the other hand, is way more like hiring a project manager. Instead of giving it a strict command for a single microtask, you hand it an overarching goal, and it actually figures out the steps to get there. So let's get into Section 2, the rise of agentic AI and these new autonomous systems. We are officially entering a brand new era of technology here. By definition, agentic AI refers to autonomous systems driven by overarching goals rather than single isolated prompts. These are systems designed not just to sit around and answer your questions, but to actually take the wheel and complete entire tasks from start to finish, all without you ever touching a keyboard again once that initial goal is set. So instead of asking an AI to simply write an email, which, requires you to read it, open your email app, paste it in, and physically hit send, agentic AI completely flips the script. You aren't asking for an output anymore. You're asking for an outcome. Let's imagine how this plays out in a real-world business scenario. You give your AI this one overarching goal. Step 1, find 10 prospective clients in the logistics industry. Step 2, research their latest company news and recent press releases. Step 3, draft a highly personalized outreach sequence based on that specific research. And Step 4, automatically schedule those emails to send out bright and early on Tuesday morning. Notice what's happening here. The AI doesn't just stop and wait after the first prompt. It chains all these steps together, executing a multi-layered, complex workflow completely autonomously. But how exactly is this possible? What makes an AI suddenly capable of running a sophisticated workflow without just crashing and burning halfway through? Well, that takes us to Section 3, the engine of autonomy. Let's look at how these agents actually work under the hood. Agentic AI possesses two core capabilities that older systems fundamentally lacked. We're talking about persistent memory and interoperability. Persistent memory allows the agent to actually learn from its previous actions. If it tries something and it fails, it remembers that failure, so it doesn't just loop around and repeat the exact same mistake the next time. Interoperability is equally massive. This is what allows the AI to effectively open up your web browser, log into your CRM system, check your calendar availability, and interact with external third-party software exactly like a human employee would. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If I let an AI run loose through all my apps and emails, it's probably going to make a huge mess. And honestly, it's a completely valid concern. Giving an AI the keys to your business sounds like a recipe for disaster. And frankly, until very recently, it kind of was. In the past, if you gave an AI a 10-step task and it got a little confused on step 3, the entire process would just collapse, leaving you to clean up the pieces. But today's AI agents work entirely differently, and it's all thanks to one of the most incredible breakthroughs in the field, self-verification. It works like a built-in feedback loop. Before an agent actually finalizes a piece of code or submits an analysis of a dataset, it first runs a simulation to test its own results. If it detects an error during that simulation, it steps in and corrects its own mistake automatically. It does all of this debugging and problem-solving entirely behind the scenes, long before it ever presents the final output to you. This is the exact mechanism that takes agentic AI from being a neat, futuristic little experiment to becoming a highly reliable, trusted system. Self-verification means that you can actually trust the infrastructure to do its job without you having to constantly babysit it. Businesses can finally rely on this. It is a total game changer for workflow automation. And honestly, that level of reliability is going to fundamentally dismantle the way we've used software for the last decade and a half. Which brings us to Section 4, the invisible infrastructure. This really represents the end of apps as we know them. Think about it. For the past 15 years, we've lived firmly in the app era. We've interacted with the digital world through heavily fragmented apps. You've got an app for food delivery, a totally separate app for your banking, a different one for flights, another one for hotels. You act as the exhausted human middleman jumping between all these isolated tools. But in the agentic era, those apps essentially fade into the background. They become invisible infrastructure. You won't be managing them directly anymore. Let's look at a practical, everyday example: automated travel execution. Instead of you opening up 5 different travel apps on your phone to plan a vacation, the new way is ridiculously simple. You just tell your personal AI your budget, your preferred dates, and whether you like the window or the aisle. That's it. Your AI agent works entirely behind the scenes. It communicates directly with the airline and hotel databases, compares pricing across the entire internet, reads and verifies the fine print on cancellation policies so you don't get ripped off, secures the best deals, and completes the booking automatically. The ops are still technically there, but you never have to touch them. So what does this massive technological leap actually mean for you? If AI is handling all the execution, what's the role of the human being in this new equation? Let's dive into our final section, orchestrating the future, and what your next big skill needs to be. There's a saying going around the industry right now: English is becoming the world's newest programming language. In the world of traditional AI, the highest paid people were the prompt engineers, the folks who knew exactly how to write perfectly formatted, highly technical prompts. But in a world of agentic AI, your most valuable skill will no longer be writing a clever prompt. Your absolute most valuable skill will simply be clearly communicating your overarching goals. We are stepping right into the era of the orchestrator. The biggest opportunities in this next technological wave aren't going to belong to the prompt engineers. They're going to belong to the creators, the entrepreneurs, and the builders who know how to manage, direct, and orchestrate vast teams of autonomous AI agents. Your job is moving away from being the person doing the tedious labor to being the visionary who directs the intelligent systems doing that labor. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take away from today's explainer. Are you ready to orchestrate the future? Because the future of AI is no longer about learning how to ask a computer better questions. It is entirely about building and directing intelligence systems that actually do the heavy lifting for you. And make no mistake, that era isn't 5 years away. That future has already begun. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating evolution. Start thinking right now about what goals you want your AI agents to achieve for you today. Catch you next time.